how to switchblade 3 different ways so that you can learn one or a combination of the 3 ways that is most comfortable and intuitive to you. And do not get overwhelmed with the options. Take a look at the video, choose one to try out, try a different one after a few sessions, mix and match, just explore and have fun. The switchblade is a staple freestyle footwork trick that uses your front foot to rotate the deck up to 180 degrees. The only skills you really need for this trick is a good amount of board comfort, being able to step down into tailstop, something like a tailstop shuffle, and the comfort of being able to jump onto your front foot. Method 1 has a full in-depth tutorial of its own that I'll link below, but to recap, first you'll want to find a comfortable foot positioning. This will look a little different for everyone. I've personally noticed that people with larger feet tend to place their front foot more towards the center of the tail, while skaters with smaller feet can benefit from having their feet more towards the heel side edge. And this has to do with the area of your foot that covers the board and the direction that the board moves under your foot. So explore both the position of your foot on the nose and the tilt of that foot. As for the back foot, I like to hang my toes off the edge of the deck a little bit, right near the back bolts, and the back foot will actually be doing its fair share of the work for this method. It's really a balance between coming up on the ball of your front foot, getting your weight off of the deck so that it can spin around, and then giving it a little nudge with the back foot to get that rotation started. And you don't really want to jump, you just want to go up on your toes to make sure that the ball of your foot, while coming off the deck, stays in contact with the kicktail for the whole time. If it does come off of the deck will fly away. With this method, I find that I don't actually have to push the kick down with my front foot. I can just come up on my toes to get my weight off of the deck while pushing the board around with my back foot, and gravity will bring my body back down to pin the kick to the ground. You just want to make sure that your weight is going to be centered over that front foot that's now pinning the kick to the ground. That will help you balance and reduce the little step downs. And from here, you can just do a little tailstop shuffle back to your starting position. For method 2, 95% of this trick is done with your front foot, and it basically guides the deck around. 1. Your foot positioning. Like I said before, your feet and board will probably be a different size combination than mine, so you definitely want to experiment here. Now, I use these 2 bolts as my guide for this trick. I point my toes back towards the heel side edge of the nose, and I keep my heel at the toe side edge's bolt. This exaggerated angle will give me the space I need to twist the board around with my ankle. You don't want the ball of your foot over the bolts, as you won't be able to pin the nose down to the ground safely. De-weighting. You don't need to slam and twist your foot as fast as possible, although I suppose you could. I like to go up on the balls of my feet to get a little bit of my body weight off the deck, and then just rotate my ankle in while pushing the ball of my foot down, and this has proven to be the most comfortable for me. Now, talking about comfort, here are a few steps to get comfortable with this version of the switchblade. First, stand next to the board and just make sure that you can comfortably twist your foot around and pin the nose to the ground. Stand up on that foot and do a little shuffle hop back to tailstop. You want to make sure this is incredibly comfortable because it's the entire trick minus the twist down. But you can work on finding the right foot positioning, getting a good snap down, balancing on that front foot and hopping back, so you can basically walk through this trick at your own pace. I learned the first version of the switchblade first precisely because this foot positioning was really uncomfortable for me as a beginner, but now I can definitely see the appeal of this version. After that, you can work on getting the snap down. You can just bail off to the side as many times as you need to, or you can try to hold that position and work on your balance. And then you really can go straight into the full trick. You can start by making sure you feel comfortable snapping straight down if you'd like, and then you can start by snapping down in very small angles. let it slowly grow larger until you can do a full 90 to 180 degree switchblade. The bigger the angle is of your foot, the more you'll be able to rotate the deck around. If you get enough of a good twist, you can get a full 180 degree rotation. Personally, I rarely go more than 90 degrees because this is the starting point for a lot of my other tricks, like finger flips, but you have the option. Method 3 is perhaps the most difficult, and it also relies mostly on the front foot. It uses the front foot to drag the kick around in a way that spins the board around in place. So when you spin the board like this and add a small pull back to the switchblade, instead of pushing straight down, you can actually whip the board around, sometimes faster and farther. And the same rules apply. You need to find the foot positioning first, find the right direction to point your toes in, and then really search for the balance between going up on the balls of your feet to get some weight off of the board, and then pulling the board back down to the ground. You can pull to the side at an angle if you're only going for around 90 degrees, or you can pull back to get a fuller rotation. It just depends what trick you want to do next in your sequence. I'm not particularly good at this, as I often rely on other methods, but I know a few freestylers who absolutely shred with this method. And finally, you can actually combine all these methods of doing the switchblade. I tend to use a combination of the first two. I use a pretty wide angle with my front foot, and then when I come up on the balls of my feet, I do push a bit with the back foot. It tends to give me a really good rotation and sets up my next trick perfectly. But I do alternate between the methods I use to do the switchblade. If I really want that full 180 degree rotation, I'll probably add a pull back to my switchblade instead of just twisting my ankle more. The best part of freestyle is the experimentation and exploration, so as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got something out of it.